told that this whole fiasco and this whole story was just a plot and a scheme to kick me out and to get me kicked out of where I was staying so that I could get kicked out on my behind, probably in the street. They probably didn't think God would come through for me so fast. I had several sneaky snakes in my varsity grass that I didn't see up until they exposed themselves, and it was so funny because some of them actually struggled to get the degree because they started off the degree being very shady to God's chosen. So this chick, Wasabi, she told Ginger they made up this whole plan to fake an email so that I could think that the head of the student accommodation sent this email to Ginger so that he would get in trouble if they find me in his house. Lesson learned, guys. If you have people in your life that really want to see you down, just know that you're doing something so phenomenally spectacular that your future vision in their eyes is so phenomenally exquisite, and it looks so like everything that they could never imagine for themselves, and so they cannot, absolutely by no means and by all means necessary, refuse for that to fruition for you. And so what would they do? Set up fake email accounts, send fake emails to get you out of a position, to get you from your blessings, to block you, to prevent you from your successes. But God, he decided something else. I'm telling you, this chick went out of her way to make my life miserable. But I had no idea she would stoop to a level that's actually... Welcome back to Chairs Are Us. Chairs are our friends. Okay? Whoa. Look at how this one looks. We're not using her. Oh my goodness. Alright, now why everyone is here, I'm guessing. For the story, for the tea. I'm actually spilling tea. I'm at varsity, awaiting. I was awaiting the varsity residence list. So this is the list that comes out for the student accommodation, the student accommodation that's on the varsity, or that is from the university. Granted, there is like private student accommodations, and obviously the bill for that is way more expensive than the actual varsity student accommodation. But I was waiting for this list specifically, and I was living with this aunt, my mom's friend. So I was living with my mom's friend, I think for like a couple of, like 2 weeks, or like a week, 2 weeks in January, 2-3 weeks in January. I don't even know how long it was, guys. It wasn't even long. Maybe I should even tell you this story. This auntie literally asked me how long am I staying with her when my guys, I'm a youngin'. I'm going to varsity out of my mother's house. How long am I staying in your house? I don't know when the lists are coming out. I know nothing about varsity. So like, couldn't you have talked to my mom about this? And I thought you and my mom spoke. So guys, at this point, I'm stressing, my mom's stressing. I don't know where I'm gonna live for varsity. The year has started. Classes is going. I'm still not in a student accommodation. Called everyone up. Called the, I think his name is his name Mark? Or it starts with an S. I don't know. Talked with the house comm people. Nobody knows. Every day looked at a list. Every day I just see people from my class getting student accommodation, and I'm just not getting student accommodation at all. Meanwhile, I made friends. Lo and behold, your girl actually made friends. And we have a merry time. We're talking about, you know, our goals for the year. We're setting out our goals. We're setting out just how good of students we're gonna be, blah, 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 blah. Me, I'm still at this auntie's house. I don't have student accommodation. I'm freaking out. The friend that I made, one of the friends that I made was like, why don't you just crash in my room? I have a single room. Why don't you just crash in my room? And, you know, we could go from there. Like, you're in my class, it's easy, it's convenient, it's just like, you know, let's just make the things be done. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you're such a good friend. Like, I'm about to cry, because, like, I don't know, I can't deal with, like, the stress from the aunt that I'm at, like, asking me, so when are you moving? Because I have a house full of people. Granted, I know you have a house full of people. You have freaking... Anyway, long story short, I've never spoken about this, so I'm actually so hyped because the story has never left my freaking palate. Shoot, guys, I'm there probably for like a month, right? This is like, we're talking about tests. The first series of tests usually happens between March and April, isn't it? Or February and March. But meanwhile, at this point, I'm at his at my friend's student accommodation. Like, I'm living in his room. Like, I'm living in his room. It's a boy, I'm a girl. I have no idea what's going on. But we managed to make it work. Like, it literally worked. I had no idea how it worked so well. But it worked so well that while I was living with him in his single student accommodation room, this is so good. I love sushi. So, meanwhile, guys, me and this guy, let's give him a name. Let's call him Ginger. It's not, come on, guys. So, Ginger and I, we were like low-key besties. We were like kind of into the same sort of thing when it comes to like modeling and stuff like that. So we literally vibed so good. Hence why I was so surprised at, you know, how we lived together. We had to steal a couch from one of the little student chill centers in the student towers, or whatever it's called, the student building, student accommodation building, and for me to sleep on. But regardless of the fact, you know, very good married time, can study together, work together. It's just good. We make food together. Everything is just friendshipy. Everything is just best friend. Everything is just yes queen. Everything is just goals. Everything is just test week. Everything is just study hard, get these grades, get this degree, get the job, get the money. This is our goals. This is where we're headed. Guys, so Ginger is helping me trying to find areas where, you know, I can get accommodation. Meanwhile, majority of my other friends in varsity are aware that homegirl has a problem with getting student accommodation all of a sudden. Like, what's going on? Guys, at this point of the story, let's just say things turned for the worst in the course of a month. 2 months? In the course of 2 months, things for my entire varsity career turned for the worst. Because for the next couple of years, I will be in the same class as the students who did me the most dirty out of my entire school experience. Like, even the bullies that shoved my face in the dirt in primary school, like, even that was nothing compared to what these people did. Ginger and I are busy studying for this test. We're busy studying for this test. And it's going well, it's going good, it's going great. We write this test. And the test marks come back. What the doctor says is, wow, Wyona, you literally just need one more mark and then you have 100%. We should look for that mark. And I'm like, doctor, don't do that. In my mind, because already I've been conditioned, do not speak about my victories out loud. There is jealous ears and envious ears all around me. If you say anything or even look like you're favoritising me, it could be bad for the both of us. And guys, it was bad. Chick, not Ginger, let's call her Wasabi. Because she's literally as strong as Wasabi, I swear. So, me and Wasabi, we were tight. It was me, Wasabi, it was Ginger, it was Cucumber, it was Avo, it was Rice, it was, it was the Nigiri. We were like a clique. Like, this was the clique in varsity. Like, we were the clique. This was the clique in the class. And we kept clicking. This is what we did. We kept clicking. We kept snapping. We kept doing the things. And when it came to competitiveness, Wasabi, she couldn't handle it. She could not handle that her brain got less than my brain on a test. And she flipped out for the worst. Like, I have never experienced this low level of competitiveness in my entire life. Like, you could be competitive. Like, I don't mind being competitive. I'm competitive with YouTubers that have no idea I exist. But I'm learning from them so that I could do better to get to where they are. So what you should have done is just be like, yo, congratulations, that's super freaking cool. Even if your eyes and your heart doesn't mean it. Not like flip around and just go into complete savage mode trying to end my freaking career as a junior, and we haven't even reached the middle of the year yet, and already I made enemies. Me and Wasabi. Because me and Wasabi, when people start disliking you, you kind of start to feel that cold shoulder and you kind of move differently. So when I started making other friends, or it wasn't even when I started making other friends, it was just literally just me slowly backing away, because I'm realizing, yo, chick, you have a problem with me, but you're not addressing it to me, and I'm not gonna be that girl that comes to you and be like, do you have a problem with me? Because trust me, that girl only knows how to handle things with us, and like, she couldn't come out because we were in a professional environment, and I'm not that girl at all anymore. I used to be in high school, but only because I was defending myself against the bullies. And now this chick shows me that she can be the biggest bully I'll ever see in my life. Like, the devil was inside of her, is what I think. Because how is one capable of doing this? So a couple months pass. I'm still residentless. I'll never, ever, 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 ever forget this day of my life. I felt for this whole week of me trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do. First of all, I'm stressing about, I have to do good in varsity. I don't have a place to stay. I can get kicked out at any freaking moment if people find out that I'm living here when I shouldn't be living here. Mortified. My student card is not activated at the student accommodation. So if they ask me for my student card, it's not gonna work at the door. Literally ask God how he made it possible for me to get in and out of the door by just being friendly with the freaking security guard. The security guard opened up the gate for me every single time, even when he had to question my student card's attendance. He never did. He never did. And that should tell you how much of a real one I am. Because the real one did not deserve what these did to me. Guys, I'm out here studying. I'm stressing. This whole week I'm feeling, okay, there's something off between Ginger and I, and I'm not understanding like what it is. And I'm rolling with it. I go outside, I go to the little student chill area, and I study there because this test, we're writing human biology, and human biology is like, it's just bad. Human biology, it's just no. This is why I don't talk about varsity, because it was just that bad. studying. I mean, I need to do good, right? Like, one thing my father has always told me is, it's 110% or nothing at all. So I'm applying these principles while not having a secure place to stay, while looking for a place to stay, while trying to convince my mom that I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm not fine. I'm living with a dude that I know is shady as hell. I'm living with a person that I know is talking about me behind my back. I'm living with a person I know that is envious and jealous of me. With this clique, I'm living with that person. Why didn't you tell me stuff was flying out of my mouth, guys? So, I'm studying. I'm about to write a test on Monday, and I want to show that I'm good. That's what I want to show. I want to show that I'm good. I want to show that I'm smart. I want to show that I'm clever, because my whole life my family has told me I'm lazy. And when I switched up, I wanted to show people that I can stay switched up, you know? Tell me why this guy, why Ginger comes into the student little center, little study room that I'm studying in. Tell me why he comes in there running, shocked, screaming. The audition of his life, literally to a T. Like, nothing about whatever he said, whatever he did made me suspicious. The only thing that made me suspicious was the whole week that he acted shady. That was it. You're acting spot on. Your petrified and terrifiedness to get caught with me in your room, knowing that we both get kicked out, all of a sudden, it was, I never told you how truly fascinated I was when you ran into that freaking study section room of a freaking student learning area that I was sitting at, studying for human biology, knowing that, oh my goodness, this is a difficult subject. How am I even gonna pass? I don't want to fail. And you walk in and you come in and you're like, I need to tell you something and I don't know how and I don't know, but I got sent an email, literally this, my hands were doing this, literally. I'm shaking, I'm sitting, but my spirit is like, girl, be calm, there's a God above you. Dude is pulling out a receipt, an email that the student accommodation sent him because apparently someone snitched on us. Apparently. Someone did the thing that they weren't supposed to do, which is snitching. Snitches get stitches. I'll say there is such a thing as selective stitching though. Like snitching though. Like come on, if they bully you, go tell your parents, go tell everyone. If they mean to you, like just go, don't be like me. Don't suffer in silence. I've suffered in silence for way too long and now I'm just like, bleh. I'm not keeping your stuff in. Boy, Ginger is like, somebody must have told them. He thinks it's the girl that lives next to him. And like everything matches at this point because the girl that lives next to him is like, she has a sourpuss face, you know? Man, I'm just like, okay, it's fine. Don't worry. I'll move. I'll go out. He's like, can you do it by tonight? Because I had to call my sister. He brought his family into the mix. I had to call my sister. Man. Oh, there's a God above me. Because when you see the plan of the enemy like this, when someone comes to you telling you that you have to move by tonight because they're afraid that their sister is going to tell their mother about an email that they got from the student accommodation that you are illegally living with him in his student accommodation because you don't have accommodation. This is the only reason why you're even there. So that, because you're waiting for the freaking student accommodation list to come out, but you're like, it's just nowhere to be found. And Oscar winning freaking performance, because I was like, you know what, it's cool. I'll be out. Hit up my friend, can you please come help me move, bruh? When I tell you, 2 tears came down my eyes. Only 2. Only 2. Because the voice within me was like, girl, they're trying to show you out and show you up, and you're not gonna allow that at all. At all. So you're gonna move. And you know what? God came through, because this next person opened her freaking 1-bedroom student accommodation room. She opened it up, and I stayed there until I got a place to stay. Like, literally, I had to get private student accommodation, cause varsity. But literally, homegirl, that girl, oh man, she saved my freaking life. She saved my behind. And I credit majority of my A's to her, because it was just the most convenient studying experience ever. I never had to leave. I'm always there. I'm always on the couch. I sleep on the couch. I sit on the couch. I study on the couch. I do everything, which was just so nice. Anyway, a year later, a year and something, I think it was a year later, a year or 2 years later, Ginger fails his year of varsity. Look how karma just bites you in the freaking ass, from being an evil spawn to Wasabi. Because this is what Ginger tells me a year later, a year after he finally realized that once people drop you, or once you are dropped to a lower level than what they are, almost like you're a peasant, almost like you're not a celebrity, they will not talk to you. They will not associate themselves with you. They will not even want to be your friend. And I was like, yeah, you made your bed, sleep in it. What was I supposed to do? But he comes to me, guys, and this is the beauty of it all. I think this is just the cherry on the cake. As it's getting dark, as it's literally getting night. I should stop doing that. And a year and something later, after me and this chick, after me and Wasabi. So me and Ginger, I was living with Ginger, right? I was living with Ginger because I couldn't get a student accommodation. Hi, if I'm spiraling all out and you don't know who the people are, Wasabi is the mean girl. Ginger is the girl the boy that was naive enough to listen to the mean girl. Because guess what the mean girl did? After she was friends with me, Wasabi and I were friends until I got the highest mark in class. And then Wasabi copped a feel. Wasabi, she didn't like it. She, threw a little tantrum, and she was like, all right, you're going down. You go down. You go down. You go down. Literally in my head. Mind you, homegirl actually, she passed really well. But anyway. Ginger comes to me and is like, I have to tell you something. And I don't know how you're gonna take it. But all I want to tell you is that I'm sorry. You didn't deserve it. I know now that people aren't always who they say they are. And I'm just glad that I can see the snakes for who they are. Oh, the snakes for who they are at this point. You didn't need to tell me. Because while y'all were busy trying to not only ruin my reputation, not only belittling my name, not only forming cliques against me, to talk about me, to discuss my name, a little old me. I was already informed. Y'all need to this is what y'all should understand. Once you start associating yourself with the work of the devil, the angels of God will tell the person that you are trying to form a weapon against, because the fake email that you tried to forge because she said you should so that I can get kicked out, the fake thing did not work, did it? I'm sorry. That's just for all the Christians in the house. Hey Christians, this is just how God comes through. I just stopped doing that, but it's so fun. It's so freaking fun. So I already know, cause my friend that, you know, just mingled with the people. I appreciate people that keep, you know, respect, and treat other people with respect, and talk to other people regardless if their best friends are not talking to the person. Like, I respect you so much if you could talk to me, and keep my name out your mouth when you're talking to people who dislike me, and when you can tell other people trying to talk about me to keep their mouth shut, you know, because I'm not present, and you shouldn't talk about my friend because my friend's cool. So I get told that this whole fiasco and this whole story was just a plot and a scheme to kick me out and to get me kicked out of where I was staying, so that I could get kicked out on my behind, probably in the street. They probably didn't think God would come through for me so fast, because that same day that he said, can you do it tonight, that same day I was out and I was on someone else's couch. That same freaking day. And I had 2 other couches opening up doors for me. I had several sneaky snakes in my varsity grass that I didn't see up until they exposed themselves. And it was so funny because some of them actually struggled to get the degree because they started off the degree being very shady to God's chosen. So this chick, Wasabi, she told Ginger they made up this whole plan to fake an email so that I could think that the head of the student accommodation sent this email to Ginger so that he would get in trouble if they find me in his house, so that he could look like he's actually genuinely panicking. And what does a person do who sees someone else genuinely panic? They're not going to want to be involved with, or they're not going to want to be the reason for that person, you know, getting caught, getting thrown out, getting done the worst, most things too. They're going to move out, and that's what I did. I moved out. But for a person and for a group and for a clique, for groups of people to actually be able and capable of doing that, like that by far was the most shadiest thing, the most disrespectful thing, the most devaluating thing to morale, ethics, personality, yourself. You sabotaged yourself and so many friends along with you, and still you didn't care. Still they didn't see. Of course it was everyone's lessons. I learned the biggest and most valuable lesson out of it. The devil will try and try and try again, but you will end up on YouTube or on a podcast eating sushi. You will end up wherever you want to, eating sushi, still not giving people clout by mentioning their names, getting more respect than they've ever did within the varsity field, within our professional field, getting the respect of superiors and clinical advisors that they will never have, never get, references that they will never be able to put on their CV. Why? Because I kept quiet. I knew what I was there for. I knew I was there for studying. I wasn't there to make any friends. And I was in there to pick up old habits I left in high school. There is the story of my friggin' life. If you want to know more about these interesting, cute stories, because I have a ton more of this one specific chick that just tried to make my life a miserable, loving hell during varsity by talking about me, making rumors about me, setting up fake stunts for me, and all those different things. She's probably still trolling me. I don't know, I'm flattering myself with that one. But this was fun. Was it interesting? Maybe, maybe not. it was just the most interesting that has ever happened to me via the hands of people who are really intimidated and threatened by you and your existence and your accomplishments and your future accomplishments. And I look back and I have so much appreciation for God. Oh my goodness, I have so much appreciation for Jesus, because those are moments that people from small towns like myself would look at and be like, you know what, I'm out. I'm not gonna do this. But my roots grew a little bit deeper in the ground because I was stomped by so many. And so by the time I came out and you saw me thinking that you could try, my silence kept me up straight. Because you must know I didn't do anything back. Nah, you knew that. You wanted me to though. But I didn't. And I'm so grateful. Lesson learned, guys. If you have people in your life that really want to see you down, just know that you're doing something so phenomenally spectacular that your future vision in their eyes is so phenomenally exquisite, and it looks so like everything that they could never imagine for themselves. And so they cannot, absolutely by no means and by all means necessary, refuse for that to fruition for you. And so what would they do? Set up fake email accounts, send fake emails to get you out of a position, to get you from your blessings, to block you, to prevent you from your successes. But God, He decided something else.
Reduce your expectations to 0.
And then it was like a switch. So I'm telling you, this chick went out of her way to make my life miserable. But I had no idea she would stoop to a level that's actually fake. And oh my god, it's just like I don't even have the words to know how shady this chick was. Like, she was just shady, and she was like, it was to a point where if she could get this low, I would be afraid to be her friend. That literally was what's happening. And I was so happy that it happened in any case, so that you know your friends at the end of the day. And immediately, bro came through. Then there was this other chick who was also my friend, and girl came through. Look, that girl who I'm mentioning that came through for me and made me stay on the couch that we had to continuously go and collect from the student place because I didn't have a bed to sleep on. Like, she knows up until this day, like, even if we don't talk, girl, like, oh my goodness, what you did for me, like, only God knows how thankful I am. Hence why, like, I'll never show any bad vibes towards you, even if you are a vindictive, manipulative, selfish person. Like, I literally always pray to God for your blessings. Period.